Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to make these rainbow earrings. They're freestanding lace. The last time my granddaughters were down, they wanted to make some earrings, and I showed them my designs, and they said, "What? No rainbows?" So now I've got 3 rainbows for you to choose from. We couldn't decide where to put the cloud, so it's up high with the rainbow coming out of it, so it's level with the end of the rainbow, or so that it's down low with the rainbow coming up out of it. So this design pack includes all 3 variations. It's set up so that you can stitch either each pair singly or 3 of each pair, or there's also a combo pack if you want to make all 3 variations at once. So to make these earrings, you'll need thread, of course. You'll need your wash-away stabilizer, and the fabric kind, not the plastic kind. I've already put 2 layers of that in my littlest hoop here. And if you can, place the stabilizer so it's running in opposite directions, so the grain of the stabilizer will be at an angle to each other. You'll need some earring wires, and I like to add those little plastic back stops as well. And here's a little tip: you can use your bobbin cases, empty bobbin cases, for storing those once you open those packages. So I don't bother with matching bobbin thread for this design. If you look, here's the back of it. You can see, just because the bands are so thin, there's very little of the white that will actually show through. So I don't even bother with matching bobbin thread, just the colors of the rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and of course some white for our cloud. So I think we're all set to start stitching. I've already brought up the design on my machine here. And if you have a multi-needle, you might want to go in and to the little edit mode and add some stops, that little hand signal. That will allow you to pause. I do like to trim the back of the design after each run. Trim those threads. So I think we're ready to start sewing. I've already loaded my thread onto the machine. Again, we've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and then I've got some violet and some white. I'll change the threads once we get to the point for those colors. So we're ready to start sewing. So I'm just going to hit start, and we'll do the first run. All right, our first run is done stitching. If you wanted to change the bobbin threads now, you would need to do so, but what I do recommend doing is taking your design out, turning it over, and trimming those thread ends off of the back. It'll make your finished product a lot neater and nicer when you go to finish things. So trim off any threads off the back, and then we'll pop that back in. So I've got my threads trimmed off the back. We're going to pop that back in. We're going to stitch the next color. When it's done stitching, I'm going to pause, I'm going to trim, and keep doing that until we've got the design completed. Okay, thank you, sweetheart. Our design has finished stitching. I'm going to go ahead and trim the last 2 tails off the back from that white area, if I can find them. And now we're ready to remove our design from the hoop. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier is I like to also keep a little piece of tape on the side of all of my hoops. That makes it easier when I'm taking it in and out of the machine to remember which way to put it back in. So I'm going to pop this out of the hoop, and we can put our hoop back over here. And I'm just going to trim away a fair amount of that stabilizer. That piece is probably big enough for another pair of earrings. And actually, I'll kind of cut this in half. And then what you need to do is just rinse away the excess stabilizer and then let them dry, and you'll be set. So I'll come in here into the other room, and I'm just going to run a little cold water. And I like to have a little cup to kind of try and catch that stabilizer in so it doesn't all go down my drain. So I just run them under water and wait 1 or 2 seconds, and then that stabilizer will just pull away. And you can put the excess in there. Give it another quick rinse. And then I've just got an old towel here that I'll blot them on. And we'll repeat that with the other earring. So wet it, give it just a second for that stabilizer to start to melt. Don't wait too long or it'll be all gooey. And we'll just pull that away and we'll put that in a little cup so it doesn't go down the drain. Rinse that last little bit off. Put them on our towel and blot. And now they're ready to dry and put our hoops on. And so I actually like to use my iron to help dry them because I'm impatient. So I'm just put them on an old shirt here so they don't stick to my ironing surface. And the other thing that you want to do is take either a knitting needle or an awl, or these little scissors I have actually have a nice round shape to them. And you just want to poke through the little loop, and that's just going to help shape it nice and make sure if there's any stray threads in there that they're knocked out of the way. So we'll poke through both those loops to give them a good shape. And then we're just going to put this under the iron for a minute. You do want to move them around. Sometimes the little bit of, if there's any stabilizer left on there, it can start to stick to the surface of what you're ironing on. So keep them moving and just press them and move them, and they'll be dry in 1 minute. Then once they're dry here, we can come back over to our work area, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my earring wires on. So I like this style of design. It's really easy, just kind of poke them through and then just give it a little bit of a squeeze just to tighten it up so they don't fall off. So I'm just going to kind of go there and just squeeze a little bit, make sure they're still able to swing. And we'll repeat that with our other one. And again, just squeeze that just a little bit so they're tight. And then I'll put these little plastic backs on there so that they won't fall off the ear when somebody puts them in. So there's that one. And this one. And we've got another pair of rainbow earrings ready to go. So these are the ones where it's coming up out of the cloud. So I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. If so, please like and subscribe to this channel for more projects in the hoop projects with LLH Embroidery. Happy stitching!